take a look. I would like you to take a look at some pictures. I'll provide the links below. Now, other than me adding some text, these are straight out of camera. Now, it's really neat when we're grading pictures. A lot of people can actually see a color shift immediately. Some people can't. And where you could really see stuff is like, this is always an issue with lenses too. An analogy is like if someone been living in jail their entire life, they think like the meatloaf on the weekend is really awesome. And it's like, well, you've been in jail. You really haven't had fine food in like, 30 years? Is a basis of comparison. When someone says something is awesome or great, I always go, compared to what? When you look at the picture on the right, it looks perfectly normal. It's this piece of driftwood with a resurrection plant sitting on it. Now, this piece of driftwood, as far as its tonal makeup and the white light that it reflects, there's a significant amount of blue that exists within a normal bleached-looking piece of driftwood. This is actually my own and I'm a little genius, by the way, for thinking of this ages ago, as a testing tool to confirm whether a lens has really good micro contrast, because you have you illuminate something like this from the side, and you end up with like 100 shades of driftwood, or wood, like old, crusty wood off the side of a barn. That's basically the same principle as this. You'll see that the image on the right, and I've got the links below, these are straight out of camera, okay, same lighting. Lighting was not changed. Nothing was changed. No special values in the cameras. Take it with a D810. You notice the image on the right is really yellow. Now let's think. RGB, CMY, red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, yellow. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, E equals H nu, or it's what I've always said. People picked on me and say it's E equals H nu. It's E equals HV, I say. It doesn't matter. And that is energy equals Planck's constant times the frequency. That means this is a hardcore equation. It is universally accurate. Okay? It has been proven and proven like a bazillion times over and over again by every scientist on Earth. That the higher the frequency, the more capacitance, and therefore the more energy it has. You see, this lens over here has 8 more elements in it than this lens over here. You notice, now if you just look at the image on the right only, you would say, well, that's accurate. It looks like a piece of driftwood. It looks like a piece of driftwood and a resurrection plant and a pencil. But then what you do is you compare it to something else, and then you go, geez, that image I was looking at before looks really yellow. That's right. You see what happens when you take high capacitance light, and glass is not only an insulator, it is a capacitor. It has a set value. It's not set because there's like a billion different ways you can cook glass. A billion different ways you can cook glass. With additives, lanthanum dioxide, niobium dioxide, on and on and on and on. Glass is like glass is not glass is not glass. But there is one thing that is for sure, that no matter how you make the glass or how good the coatings are, people invest so much into coatings. They think that coatings define everything. Coatings are for helping light pass through lots and lots and lots of elements. Back in the day, some of the most beautiful images you'll see are like some uncoated 3-element lenses, like from the 1920s. You take a picture of that and stick it on a full-frame advanced digital. People are like, holy shit, well, I gotta have that lens. What is it? That's like a lens from the 1940s. It's a Leica boopity-boop lens. It's like, really? This lens is like 70 years old? Like, yeah, it is. Wow, that's amazing. This is what I meant when I said that lenses have really only progressed in 3 different ways over the past 25 years. And prime lenses really have not. Except for autofocus and image stabilization, prime lenses have not. In fact, they have degraded. Now, they have improved edge-to-edge, they've improved vignetting, they've improved chromatic aberration, and they've sharpened up a little bit. And most things that, the common novice, the common boob, or the superficial photographer, shall we say, it's like, how sharp is it? How sharp is it? How sharp is it? How sharp is it? And as a new lens came out, the first thing they went was, how sharp is it? How sharp is it? That's exactly what they do. You know I'm right. You know I'm right. So the image on the right, both these straight out of camera, untouched. Same lighting. Lighting wasn't touched. You see how yellow it is. Yeah, the reason is yellow is red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, yellow. You subtract out the blue, wham! That 14 element lens on the right looks yellow. This is not reference to a specific lens, however, this is one specific lens, so this applies across the board. Okay? Across the board, girlfriend. Now you say, well, I can change that in Lightroom or Photoshop, and surely you can, but here's what you can't change. Here's those same images, left and right. I'll give you the links for these below. Is that if you are a black and white shooter, you are screwing yourself, because one thing you cannot add in Lightroom or Photoshop is micro contrast. That means all those intertonal values means the really weak signals, because light is an electrical circuit. You know, it's the same thing that like powers those solar panels on top of your roof. Oh my God, light is electricity. Yeah, and guess what light is? I mean, glass is a lens. Any lens, it doesn't matter what lens. There's this neat stuff called glass, and it has certain characteristics regardless of how well it is made or how well it is coated. You see the best coated elements on Earth, guess what is underneath that coating? There's glass. You take the best coated elements on Earth, it's like, it's super multi-coated, wah! Yeah, but right underneath that is glass. And glass has known dielectric permittivity and magnetic permeability issues or benefits, depending on how well it's constructed or the element count. And so if you're a black and white shooter, that is insanely important to you, and if you don't heed that warning, then you're going to go, oh my God, I just don't know why, you know, I'm taking, the dynamic range is perfect, and I've checked my light meter, for some reason my images look flat. They don't have any pop to them, and like, that's the answer, girlfriend. That's the answer, because, you know, everything is like a sponge, and yeah, glass is like a sponge too. When light passes through it, there is a little bit of sponging action going on, especially with blue light, because there's a neat little equation that nobody on Earth is going to disprove, and that is E equals HV. Energy equals Planck's constant times the frequency of light. That means that glass likes to suck on blue light more than it lets red light pretty much pass through. Blue light, it does get absorbed. More glass you pass through. 1 element, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 elements. More? Yes, more. 13 elements, 14 elements. Jesus Christ, oh my God. Ah! Glass is evil. When I say glass is evil, I don't really mean glass is evil. Yeah, I do mean glass is evil. What I mean is that light likes the shortest path possible to hit your sensor. Now, none of us like vignetting or chromatic aberration, and we want the sharpest images possible. But here's the secret, girlfriend. Where's the secret? All lens design is a trade-off. If you stick a bazillion elements in that lens, and you have it perfectly sharp, and the corners are awesome, and it's like, it's super duper coated. Glass is glass is glass is glass. It doesn't matter how good it's coated, and light is not best friends with glass. And blue light, we're like Kmart blue light special. Blue light, it doesn't like glass. Blue light, due to this neat little equation that is undeniable and irrefutable and universally accepted, E equals HV, blue light don't like glass. So take a look at these images and tell me what you think.